Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Align to Your Design. I'm so happy to be with you. We do our very best to release a new episode every Saturday on the YouTube, and we also put it in our Facebook group, Align to Your Design. I am very excited today. I have a wonderful guest with us, Chantelle Neufeld, who is a Canadian hypnotherapist who helps people heal past and current emotional trauma through creative visualization. And we're going to talk today about how she got into this work, what this work does, how this work can benefit you. And then we're going to spend a little time, as we always do, looking at her human design chart. She is a 3-5 projector in the right angle cross of the vessel of love. And of course, the vessel of love is a wonderful cross to have, a life purpose to have when you are a healer. So, with that, let me bring on Chantelle and we will get into this. All right, Chantelle, welcome to Align to Your Design. Dun, 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 dun. Be sure you're unmuted as you come on. And everyone, we do
Hello.
not edit these. Hi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. So, will you share a bit about your backstory about how you got into this work?
Sure. So I was raised in a homeschool cult, the same one as the Duggars. I'm not sure if people are familiar with them from the reality show. So my whole life, as a teenager, I was sent to the cult headquarters to live and to work. And so I was raised like in a really strict home, the oldest of 10 kids. So perfectionist
Right.
to the core, right? That's
Very
the
much.
expectation. Yes, and so you can imagine becoming an adult. You want your freedom, your autonomy, and you want to heal from all of that stuff. And so the deconstruction process was definitely a process. I created a Facebook group of survivors for us students, and that was huge in my deconstruction process. And so I knew I always wanted to get into like psychology and therapy. I just didn't know what avenue that would take. And so, yeah, there was a couple of kind of earthquakes that shook me up in my life. My parents changing religions, that came out of left field. So, like everything I had been taught, they kind of threw out the window and went with something even more strict. Um, Two of my siblings died within a year in their 20s. That was about 10 years ago. And that was like a huge earthquake for me. And so I was really looking for something to help me like process my grief. And so hypnotherapy is what I found to be the most helpful of all the therapies that I tried because it
Wow.
accessed the subconscious mind. And the subconscious, as you know, is is where it's at.
Yeah, if you don't mind my asking, what happened with your siblings? Can you share that?
Oh, of course. Yes, I don't mind you asking. So, my sister, she had cystic fibrosis, and so she died from that. Her lungs stopped working. And then my brother, he was 21. He died from suicide a couple of
Mm.
months later. You know,
Were they close?
they were close, and we were a close family because all we had was each other growing up. You know, because you're really segregated. Like you don't go to public school, so you don't really like hang out with other people a whole lot. So yeah,
How, how many siblings were there in your family?
I'm the oldest of 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And can I ask you a few questions about this?
You can
Because
ask me anything.
a lot, thank you. A lot of our community, meaning people coming to awareness and discovering who they really are, and stepping away from highly conditioned, high demand religion, they pass through this my space, right? I have many people who were in MK Ultra, the Gate program, who came out of other high demand religions, Mormonism, Scientology, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, what would you say was the upside? Like, what were some of the benefits of what you learned through being in that particular structure?
I learned how to recognize manipulation. So that is now my superpower. And through my hypnosis, hypnotherapy training, I learned how it is a tool, how it was abused over the pulpit. Like I could recognize how hypnosis was used to, put people to sleep and repeat things 3 times and can I get an amen, and all those triggering things. So like it was used to manipulate people, but I also learned that it's just like a knife, like a tool that you can use for bad or for good, and that you can use that same tool, hypnosis, to reprogram, to decondition, to program yourself to believe more helpful things than the scarring religious stuff.
Yeah. And what would you say are like the top, say, 5 signs that someone is attempting to manipulate you?
Wow. Fear, guilt, shame. Those are the ones that first come to mind. Um, yeah, it's just they're, I don't know, the fear, guilt, and shame. That's just the first thing that comes to my mind.
And were there particular, what were the ways in which you were shamed and guilted and put into fear? Was there corporal punishment,
Yes.
sexual abuse?
No.
No,
Well, not in my family,
not in
but
your family. Yeah. So how did the abuse play out to keep you in line?
well, I feel like a lot of it was psychological, but there was like daily physical abuse, like all the way up till I was 18. I got spanked for, or should I say beaten, for giving my little sister gum, which was, my dad's rule, no gum. Um, so yeah, in my healing process, I've come to learn that my dad is on the spectrum as well as me. So
Uh-huh.
that gave me some healing a bit, just to give him grace that he was trying his best. That's been a
Mm-hmm.
helpful belief for me in my healing, that everyone's doing the best they can. But it's still, it doesn't negate what happened. But I feel like everybody goes through their valleys and stuff in life, and every bad thing that I've ever been through has also opened a door for growth and for learning new things. So
And a few more questions about this, and then we'll move into your work because I'm just so curious. And I know the listeners are too, because this issue, all this issue is up in the collective, right?
yeah.
The issue of the loss of sovereignty and reclaiming it. What do you think motivated your parents to get involved in this type of dynamic in the first place?
Well, I think that the cult was promising, like making false promises, saying you're going to have perfect kids, right? So it was manipulating them through fear, that, the fear of, oh, their kids might not turn out good. So if they just sign up with these people and do everything that this guy says, that their kids are going to grow up to, have the perfect marriage and look good for them in public and whatever.
Uh, yeah, and was there a lot of financial demand
There
from
was a
the
lot of
cult?
financial demand, yes. And yeah, just a lot of manipulation. And I feel like they targeted people who were like more open or more easily manipulated, or, the more easily convinced people.
Yeah, I think I read just yesterday that one of the challenges for more open and open-minded people, more forgiving, give the benefit of the doubt type people, is if they're not aware of this manipulation and how these predators work, they're actually targeted because of their kindness, because of their openness. And to me, that's the travesty, is the kindest, best people are being hidden and like removed from society, essentially, removed from their own path to serve somebody else's uh,
Agenda. Yeah.
agenda. Yeah.
100%.
So how did you get out? What, like, how, like, so your 2 siblings passed, which sounds very traumatic. And
Mm-hmm.
then you tried different healing modalities and you found hypnosis. So can you walk us through what the hypnosis, how you learned hypnosis, and then how it first helped you and how now it helps your clients? So it's like a 3-parter question.
And I'm supposed to remember all 3 parts.
So what did you learn from it? And then number 2, how did it help you? And number 3, how is it helping your clients?
Okay, so the subconscious part of hypnosis, like that is why it works, is that it accesses the subconscious, the theta brainwave state. Um, People have such huge misconceptions about hypnosis, when, like, yes, there are different kinds. The kind that I was trained in and use is like the relaxation part where you, and the visualization where you, it's like a guided meditation. You kind of go down a hill and then you journey through and you use metaphors and parts of yourselves, and you reframe and you give the part that's doing a job that's not helpful to you anymore more helpful job. You love all parts of yourself, that kind of thing. So that's how it helped me, and that's how I help my clients now.
Now, do your clients, is there a certain demographic you find you serve predominantly?
Yes, the people who are recovering from religious abuse, childhood trauma. Yeah.
How rampant do you think this problem is?
Oh, it's very rampant. Like, it's not just the specific cult that I was in, and it's not just religion. It's across the board in all sorts of cultures, right? Like, um, it's just everywhere in politics, it's in schools, it's in, it's in all of these systems that I guess used to work for people, but definitely moving into the, where we are now in the world, these systems are falling apart and not helpful whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you think drives this domination and control addiction that seems to be global? Like, what do you think the roots of it are, or
The roots
what's,
of it are beliefs. And if you are more spiritually minded, principalities, you know, that is like, it's kind of like we as a collective sign up and agree to, oh, this is, that person's in charge. I need to allow them to have control over me. When in fact, no, we are all sovereign. We were all born here to, be assertive and say what is right for us and what we want to do. I saw a really cool quote the other day, and it said something about, if you're passive, you're trying to control. Um, uh, so people are trying to control you, and if you're aggressive, you're trying to control other people. But if
mm,
you're assertive, you're just trying to say, "This is me. This is who I am. This is what I believe, and it's okay." And I don't need permission from anyone.
yeah, yeah. I find in my life I've only ever and only need to be aggressive when I have asked and set my boundary multiple times, and then people keep pushing. At that point, I will say enough. I'll push back. But
Mhm.
um, that's a deep learned skill for us, don't you think? Learning to stand up for ourselves, it's scary
It's
at
usually
first.
learned through trial and error, which I'm
Yeah.
35, so.
Right, right, right. All right. I just want to look at my, I've got some notes here and I want to make sure I've asked the questions that I wanted to ask you. So, what would you say is the moment that really changed your life? Was it the death of your siblings, or was there anything else on this journey that made you realize that you wanted to change your life?
That was pretty much it. Like, just when you have such profound loss, you just feel like nothing is important, but you feel like everything is important at the same time. And you just realize life is short. I only have this one life. It's mine. I'm gonna use it. So I just decided I would never be owned again. And I left my husband, and I've had some other relationships, but never been owned in them. I'm always gonna keep my sovereignty.
Yeah. Did your husband try to own you?
I mean, I think I made a good decision. He's a good father. It's just, I got married at 18 to get away from my parents. I wasn't, compatibility wasn't really the thing I was looking for. You know what I
You were
mean?
looking for escape.
I
Yeah.
definitely was. Yeah.
Right. I hear this story a lot that, especially for women, that they want to get away from their controlling parents. And then they end up in a similar dynamic, running to get married. But it sounds like that perhaps you just chose someone to choose someone and that he's a
I was
decent
lucky.
guy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to choose someone who was very different than my dad, and I did. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. But at the same time, I want to be in a relationship where I'm growing and where I feel compatibility.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So what are you passionate about today? Like what's exciting you in your life now?
I'm excited about like creating the world that I want to live in. I'm excited and passionate about relationships and growing through relationships. Um, yeah, that's that's basically it. I
Yeah.
I feel like the world is watching this grand theater play out in politics, and I'm definitely not subscribed to that channel. I'm not judging anyone who is, because as you know, we all have different personalities, but I'm more, I want to focus my intention on things that matter and things I love, and I don't want to give any power to the clowns that are on the stage right now.
Yeah. And boy, are they clowns, right?
Right? I feel if we would just all ignore them because they're not making
That's what
any
I
sense,
say.
the
Starve
world
them
would be
out,
so much better.
no contact. That's how you get rid
Yeah,
of the narcissist.
exactly.
Just
No
starve them
contact with
out.
the narcissist. Let's just all sign up for that, right?
Yeah, yeah, no contact. Exactly. Which was a tool created by Professor Sam Vaknin, twice diagnosed malignant narcissist. And he's the one that brought this idea of no contact. He said, look, you're dealing with someone like me, don't. You got to go no contact. I agree with you. If we would just give them no attention, no one would watch the media. No, they would just
Right?
they'd all go into narcissistic collapse, which honestly I think is happening now. They're
Mm-hmm.
just they're the springs are popping out of their robot
Mm-hmm.
heads. So we just have to stay
Well,
out of the way.
yeah. So like that's on the big scale, but even in the small scale and in our own homes, empaths, tend to not go for the win-win-win, right? They forget themselves and they only give the power away. But what if we could still be a good person if we included ourselves in everything, right? And so to me, that's the only ethical way to live life. And I'm excited about empowerment and being ethical and including ourselves, having the win-win-win. Like it's important that my needs are met too, not just the narcissist. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah. So how in terms of being an empathetic person, what have you discovered as a way to have a win-win-win as an empathetic person? Like what are some of the skills you've developed for yourself in order to not lose yourself in relationships?
Oh, I mean, that losing myself in a relationship, to be perfectly honest, is kind of like the life path, the tricky thing that I feel like I'm still navigating. But just to remind myself about the win-win-win, that I need to include myself in every scenario. Like if I'm just serving someone else and my needs aren't met or I'm not speaking up for them, then it's not ethical for anyone or not serving anybody. So yeah.
That'd be a good book title for you.
Which one?
Win-win-win. Win-win-win.
Win-win-win. Yes.
Yeah. So will you describe what you mean by win-win-win? Because that's three wins. So I'm interested in what that means to you.
To me, it's multifaceted, but mostly it's a win for myself, a win for others, a win for the planet, a win for humanity. Like you need to include all three because if any one of them is left out, then it's unbalanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So, hey, let's have a look at your chart. And
Yay!
as I said, down the description, everyone, I will give you Chantelle's links. So you're a 3-5 projector.
Fellow heretic. Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
yeah. So how long have you been involved with human design?
About 8 years now.
Okay, so you've been in the experiment for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah. Do you feel like you have significantly deconditioned?
I still find myself, being like, oh, if I had only waited for the invitation, I wouldn't be so bitter about this situation. So I don't
Exactly.
necessarily learned my lesson, but it's definitely helped along the way.
Well, wouldn't you say what you just said is awareness? I mean,
Yes.
that's the first step to change is, oh, I'm not waiting for the invitation, right?
Yeah.
So,
Like, then it helps me not to blame other people.
right, right. Okay, so before I bring up your chart, I like to ask each guest is because we have limited time, obviously, and readings can take a long time. What what is one area of your life that you have intention around or a question you have? And then we'll go to the chart and have a look.
Relationships.
All
It's
right, what
just
specifically about relationships?
about losing myself in relationships.
All right, and we'll have
That's
a
one
look
of
at
my
why
biggest
that.
struggles.
All right,
Yeah.
let's look at why you might lose yourself in relationships. Okay, let me get your chart. Let's get your chart.
So I kind of became aware of you through Anna Kowalska. She
Oh,
was an
yeah, yeah.
analysis in 2019, and I heard
Yes,
there. And so the life purpose statement of my hand analysis is, can I be individualistic and be loved for who I am? Can I be part of a community?
that's great. Yeah, Anna got certified with me in hand analysis. Um, yeah, like 2017. She's a Dynamo 4-1. She's the community investigator there. Okay, 3-5. 3-5. Yes. So the thing for the 3-5, you're actually living out that. I really feel that right now is the time for 3-5s. I have a lot of them in my life. And because the fifth line is in the design or the unconscious, the biggest thing for you as a 3-5 is to get the voice out, which you're doing. Get on podcasts, have your own podcast, get
I
on
do.
stages, right? Publish your writings, your books, your podcasts. You have a message to tell. Every 3-5 has very, very important messages. And it needs to be about you. You're the star. This lifetime, you're the star. And your life's meant to be pretty laid back. The entertainment really does come to you. You don't have to force it. You don't have to push it because your mind is spinning on the data, it's spinning on the details, but life will come to you, especially with your variable, right? You get a left brain, so you need to eat regular schedule, right? You get a left, why is it doing that? Hang on, come on, computer. You get a left mind, right? So it's good for you to study, but then you have your timeline, your storyline is right, receptive. My dad has this variable. I think you're the second person I've seen with it. And it's challenging because you've got the left strategic, old world, if you will, traditional mindset. The way you learn is traditional. Repetition, flashcards are good, taking notes. And yet your environment, you see the future. I bet you see a lot of things you tell no one because
100%. Yeah.
they can't handle it.
No.
I know my dad probably doesn't speak like 95%, it maybe 97% of what he sees. And even if people ask him, he plays dumb on it,
You do want friends.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You definitely want friends. All right. So let's look at relationship. Let's look at what's going on there. Um, with the 3-5, what happens is the fifth line has a projection field, right? So you've got your projection around gate 25, universal love, and gate 46, the love of the body. So the biggest thing for you is to pour your energy into loving your physical body, diet, exercise, fitness, rest, build that oxytocin, be very discerning about who gets into your aura, that kind of thing. Yeah, so your biggest breakthrough is to be this 46 line 5, this heretic that loves the body. And it makes you very lucky because one of the things about gate 46 is considered the gate of luck. Because when you love your body and your body is so intimately attuned to the moment, you're usually in the right place at the right time for the right opportunity. And it's knowing that you're lucky. It's knowing you can't. I mean, this chart, there's not much you can do. You got except, be busy making beauty and writing. The thing about projectors is while you're waiting for high quality invitations, you want to be happily preoccupied with your creativity because it's that focused, absorbed focus on your creation that draws in people. What's she doing? What's she up to? Right? What's she creating? Okay. Now let's look at relationships in particular. One of the main places we want to look is your design moon, because the moon is the feminine aspect, right? It reflects the sun. And you've got your moon in gate 60, line 4. So gate 60, it's all sitting alone down here. You see that? Sitting down. I'll highlight it. It's sitting down. I'll annotate it for the viewer. Down here, coming off your root. And so that's your moon. So you are meant to be, in a sense, the embodiment of limitation in community, meaning there is a limit to both what the individual is willing to do for community, and there's a limit to what the community can do upon or toward the other in community, and you have it in the color of 5. So essentially, you're a heretic for community. And your relationship, your intimacy with the line 4 is that you need to be friends with someone that appreciates your individuality first before you can be intimate with them.
Oh, 100%.
They got to be your friend. And they have to really value community. They have to value community. Now, your Venus is where there is a breakthrough in your value system. And it's in gate 49, the revolutionary, right? Revolutionary off the solar plexus, but it's hanging. So you have to wait for the other. Your emotional maturity and your deepest value system is about the revolution, good or bad, that community brings, that the tribe brings. So if the tribe is controlled negatively, if they're starved, and we see this going on in the world right now, how the poorer people are being shut out completely from society. I mean, it's despicable, really. And line 5 is the voice for the tribe members. It's a sensitivity to who gets to eat, who gets to come to the table. And you are indeed a revolutionary in your value system. You're in a sense, for you to have the right kind of love relationship with the other, they too have to understand that unless we have a revolution in caring for the weakest members of society, who are we? We're no better. We're no better. We're no better than the oppressors.
Yeah.
We're no better than the oppressors. And speaking of which, your North Node, how old are you now?
I'm 46.
Yeah, so you're in your North Node in your environment. You are very much meant to live alone. I mean, your design is solitude. So you can have a partner, you can even have a family, but you need to have most of your time to yourself. Yeah, I heard
and sleep alone, which I've been doing for the last 10 years for the most part.
Yeah, I heard that Ra Uru. Now, this is a rumor. I haven't verified this, but back when he was alive, the guy that downloaded Human Design, for those of you that don't know, he only spent 2 hours a day with people, even his family, right? So it was 2 hours a day. That's all he could manage as a splenic manifester. So that's really what it comes down to in your environment, is that you're here to be the one who helps the individual overcome their stinking thinking. I mean, you said belief. I mean, gate 47 is the gate where we try to sort all the images of our life and make sense of them. And the problem with that is we often will make up a story. We'll make up a story. And that story can be empowering. It can also be disempowering. And it may or may not be true per se, but our suffering comes from the mind. All suffering starts in the mind.
And we can rewrite the story to whatever we want it to be.
So, you're here, your storyline, what you're actually living day to day is you're here to be this role model friend in the tribal channel. Like, your whole perspective is about, how do I be an individual in a tribe? How do I be an individual in a tribe? And what you're actually living is, you're here to be this genius investigator about how does an individual identify their beliefs, rewrite the beliefs, eradicate beliefs. I mean, I'm not a big believer in belief. I think belief is often a waste of time. People say, what do you believe in? I'm like, nothing.
I believe in the power of belief.
Right. I believe in myself. I believe in my decisions. I believe in my inner authority. But in terms of what I believe, it's more a story. Beliefs are stories. And so, you're here to help people identify the limiting beliefs. 47 line 1 is the limiting belief expert.
And that's the whole hypnotherapy premise.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us, what is your belief about belief?
I believe in the power of belief, and that you can change your belief. They're like Velcro. Like, a lot of people are programmed in religion and other cultures that they believe certain things, but if it's not working for you, you can unvelcro that and stick on a different one that works better for you. It's more helpful.
Yeah, so I'm going to stop the share. We'll wrap up here, and I really want to have you back, because I'm thinking I want to do a series on people escaping high demand religion, because it's so up in my field now. Like, I keep asking people, like, you're really genius. What happened to you as a kid? And then they tell me, I'm like, oh, and in part it's because they're sensitive, they're creative, they're so brilliant, right? And they're magnets for these predators who want to extract their genius from them. What is a belief you had that was limiting you? And what is the new belief you have for you?
Oh, what a question. The first thing that comes to mind is everyone's doing the best they can is my new belief. So in my previous belief is that, everyone's out to get me. or, it's all their fault. That was like the victim mindset. But now in the empowering mindset, it's, I don't blame. I take responsibility for everything that I believe, and they can be them and I can be me.
Nice, nice. And what are some of the main limiting beliefs you found with your clients? Like if there's two or three that pop up a lot, what would you say they are?
The worthiness is the biggest one, right? I'm not enough, right? If every empath could just get to that point where they're like, I am enough, there is enough in this world for us all to share. I am enough, there's enough, just we are enough, then we're not going to be like giving our power away thinking that we're not good enough, because then you're susceptible to manipulation.
Yeah. Um, I have my theory about why so many people feel they're not enough,
I'm
but what,
curious.
yeah, I'll tell you in a minute. What's your theory about why people, I mean, I don't have that not enough thing. That's not been my jam. So,
Yeah, but you can see it
uh,
out there.
I see. I have my own problems. Like we won't get into
Yeah,
my
yeah.
issues, but like mine has never been really the I'm not enough thing. So I'm
Mm.
wondering, like, it's very common though. What do you, it's like probably 65% of the population struggles with that. What would you say you've observed about what drives the not enough belief in people?
I mean, it's just how we're programmed through society, through our parents, through religion, right? Like their school, for example, right? It's graded. Like what even? How is that helpful for learning?
Yeah.
It's just, it seems a bit ridiculous to me.
It's kind of ridiculous. It is. I agree. I agree. And then you hear these people like, well, they're giving out participation trophies. And I'm like, so it's better than not participating. Like, who cares? But
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. So yeah, my what I've observed just really through human design mechanically, why so many people feel not worthy is they're in high control environments where they're judged on their behavior rather than their behavior reflecting their inner truth. Someone else is telling them how to behave, which is insane, telling them how to behave to earn love. Now, of course, that's a losing battle because I am not you. Every child is different. As you were saying in the beginning, everyone's unique. So if you're put in a high demand situation where you are judged and graded on your behavior, you're always going to come up short because we're not mind readers, right? It's
We're
like
not
you're,
all meant
giving
to, yeah.
giving
We're not
gum
all
to
meant to
your
be good at the
sister.
same subjects.
Right, exactly, exactly. So I really feel that if people understood they were unique and to lean into how they're actually different from other people, right? The magic is in how we're different from other people. Because the same things, we like to eat, we like to sleep, we need to go to the bathroom regularly, we need exercise, we want to have good friends. I mean, most humans want the same basic things, right? Community, support, meaningful work, meaningful pay, friends and family, a spiritual connection, a connection to God and the earth, gardening, pray to God, give thanks, gratitude. I don't think it's very complicated what it is to be a human. But beyond that, we all have unique talents and skills. Like some people are very detail oriented. Some people are good with their hands. They're implementers. I'm not much of an implementer. So we all have our skills and our weaknesses. And yeah, so I just think what you're doing is so incredible. What are some words of wisdom you could give to our listeners and viewers today around their worth?
Mm. That all parts of you are trying to do the best that they can. And as children, sometimes our protective parts got a little big, and like they were doing a good job then to protect our child self. But as an adult, they're kind of outdated. And if we just could connect to the subconscious mind and get that memo that that part needs a different job to be more helpful, then people spend so much time fighting those parts and like trying to squish them and not feel them. But the more we can embrace them and love all parts of ourselves, and then we'll just feel more worthy, and we'll be able to feel lighter, because it's so heavy to suppress all of that emotion, right?
Yeah, very much so. So one last question before we wrap up. If someone was to work with you, how does that process work? How many sessions do you suggest? And what's the general protocol for doing hypnosis therapy with you to update the belief system?
Just one at a time. Some people just come once and then they have such this an amazing transformation that they don't feel like that was ever even a problem for them. They don't remember how it was because their new system is so updated, right?
You're very
So like
efficient.
I'm not the normal therapist who wants you to be a client forever and ever every week. I'm the one who, just if you have a certain topic you want to, set the intention for, then we'll dive in, and like I kind of like metaphorically hold your hand as we go into the cave of the subconscious together, because it can be a scary place to be by yourself. And then I'm not someone who tells you what to do. I'm someone who elicits your metaphor, the client's metaphor, and helps reframe. I've done whole sessions where I don't even know what the person's issue is at all. I don't have to. I'm not doing the healing. I'm the conduit to connect them to their higher self, to get their answers, and to release their emotion. Like I know where to turn. I know where to shine the flashlight. Like that's where my training is. But I'm all about empowerment, and I never impose my, beliefs of anything on a client.
That's delicious. I
Right?
love that. Oh, we're talking about sovereignty.
Yes.
So one other thought I had that doesn't get talked about very much, but one of the shadows of this high control domination culture is even in the so-called healing arts and therapy system, people who run those systems subconsciously may not want their patients to totally recover and get well because they are in scarcity and they want continuity income, which, continuity income is great for subscriptions and rental payments, perhaps, but it's not so good for healing, because you're absolutely right. Someone may need one session to quit smoking or leave that marriage, and someone else may need to see you for 3 years. And you're really demonstrating that you'll be taken care of because you're not trying to get anything from the other. You're really offering your skills as a service, and it's in the hands of the client.
Yeah, my marketing is very different than most people's marketing.
Say a little bit about that. Like,
About
how
my
is it different?
marketing.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
marketing is like what you said before, which is amazing. Taking care of my body, doing yoga, going for walks, like just pretending like every day is my birthday and I have nothing to do. And then I become magnetic and people magically find me somehow. That's my marketing.
Yeah.
And like when I'm
Same.
excited about something, like I get a download and I share it, then people are like, oh, I resonate with that.
Yeah, it's really true. It's really, really true. Well, I'm going to put your link in the description, but will you spell it out? Say the name of your domain and then spell it out for our listeners so they
Okay,
can find out more.
okay, my website is chantellen.com. So my name, Chantelle, and then N for Neufeld.
Great.
Or, yeah,
ChantelleN.com.
.com is my domain.
Terrific. And it
And
will be in the description. And this
yeah,
episode's going to go out on Saturday. So,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, my Instagram is mindful regeneration.
terrific. I'll add that in the link as well. Great.
Cool.
Oh, Chantelle, I'd love to have you back. I'm really serious. I want to do a series on this escape from high demand religion, because people are coming out of the woodwork to tell me their secrets. And I've been asking them discreetly, hey, could I interview you about this? And they're like, yes, I want people to know. So
I'm completely open to that. And I have some ideas for other people who would also have some light to shed on the subject.
And as I said that, the light on my desk flashed off and
Do,
flashed
do,
back
do,
on.
do, do, do,
Now,
do.
it's got a faulty connection. I just think the timing is pretty funny
Yeah,
because it's a faulty connection. It's the light bulb's a little off, but it literally flashed off and then it blinked 3 times.
I love that.
Yeah. All right, my dear. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And
Thank
thank you
you.
everyone for being with us on Align to Your Design. We'll see you next time.